Alright, in this video we're going to do another example of using the collections framework to solve another problem. So, given a list of integers, we're going to return a new list with duplicates removed. So, let's actually make this a little bit, let's make this a little bit more challenging by saying that the returned list should be in ascending order. Okay, so how are we going to solve this? Well, first let's write some test cases. Okay, again, that's the second thing you do after you write your documentation comments. Remember, documentation comments, I'm trying to not blur everything, documentation comments, test cases, implementation. Okay, so first off, how do we create a test for this? Well, of course, it should just be, let's just say we have a list of integers. Let's make sure that's what we have. Yes, it is. So we're going to create, well, we can actually do this in one line. So we can just do assert equals, and then we'll say the expected list is something. But let's just say that we have a simple list where we only have a bunch of ones. Okay. Of course, this should just be the list 1. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. Let's say we have the list 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And the expected list should be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because we said that it has to be in ascending order. Okay? Now let's actually make it a little bit harder. Let's say we have 9, 8, 9, 6, 6, 6, 9, 8, 9, 7, 9, 5. Well, again, the expected list is going to be the same, because we're just going to remove all the duplicates, and they're going to be in ascending order. Okay? And then we will test the empty list, so this should return nothing. And then we'll just test something like, let's take this test and make it just slightly more complicated. We'll say 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 with a negative 1 in the middle. And then this should return the list negative 1, comma, 1. Okay? So, well, of course, I'm just realizing that we forgot one thing. We forgot to call the method. So filter dupes. So yeah, don't forget to actually call the method. If you don't, then you're going to get some very strange results. Okay, there we go. Wrote some good tests. Again, test cases count for a lot in this class. If you don't write them, you're going to lose all the points. So now how are we going to do this? Well, we kind of have an idea of what we can do because we now know how to use sets. Right? There's a pretty straightforward approach to this problem. What we can do is use a tree set, add all the elements to the tree set, and then loop over the tree set and just add all of those elements in the order to a new list. Okay? So the first step is to create a tree set and add all elements to the set. Okay? So we're going to create a set of integers. We'll call it s equals new tree set. Remember, it has to be a tree set because it depends on the natural ordering of the elements. In this case, we want it to be in ascending order. So a tree set is a perfect data structure to use because the natural ordering of the elements is ascending order, at least for integers. Okay? So we're going to say for every integer in the list, we're going to do s.addx. Okay? So there's also this operation called .addAll, but I would prefer you to not use that because that kind of abstracts away what is going on here. But in future problem sets or labs, you can certainly use the abstraction. All this says is we're taking the elements of this list and just adding them to the collection. Okay, maps have this operation, lists have this operation, sets have this operation. So it's a good operation to know how to use, and is much faster. Well, it's not faster, but it's much more concise than having to loop over everything and just add all the elements into a collection. Okay, so now we have all the elements in order in a set. Okay, now we're going to traverse over the elements of the set and add them to a new list. Okay, so let's create a new list. We'll call it new ls equals new array list, So you might be wondering, well, what if we don't know the type of the given list? And that's actually a very good question, because this given list could be a linked list or it could be an array list. We don't know. And the answer to that is, well, it kind of depends on the problem. So for this particular problem, we're just going to assume that the given list is an array list, and just to make things simple. But if this were a larger system, then you would definitely need to take into consideration what type of list you're going to return, because someone who is calling this method might need to be aware of what kind of list it returns, okay? Because even though it says it's just a list, it could be any particular type of list. It could be a linked list or it could be an array list. Okay? So, excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to traverse over the elements of the set. Now, how do we do that? Well, we can do the same thing we've been doing. We can just say for every integer x in the set instead of the list, and then we're going to say new ls.add x. And again, you could just use add all, but again, I want to make a point here. So the important thing here is that when we traverse over the elements, they will be in sorted order. Okay? Then we're just going to return the new list. Okay? So again, two-part process. We add them to a set to remove the duplicates, and then we add them to a list to get our desired result. So let's run this, and all tests pass, which is awesome. So let's flip one of these results around, and let's just see if it fails, and it should. It does. Okay. But let's also put the elements in a different order. So let's say 5, 7, 6, 8, 9. So when we're comparing lists, the order matters, okay? If we were comparing sets, the order would not matter. So if we were trying to do something like set.of, which you can do, or map.of, the order actually doesn't matter, okay? So if we're trying to compare, like, let's say, assert equals set.of 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the same thing as 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, okay? So this test will also pass, okay? Oh, actually, I've actually never encountered that before. Okay, so if you pass a duplicate element to a set.of, then it will actually give you an exception. Interesting. Okay, well, let's not do that. Okay, so, but the important thing here is that if we test set.of, then the order doesn't matter, and if we tested, like, if we did set of integer s1 equals new hash set, s1.add 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, then we could do this, and it would still pass the same. Okay? Alright.